Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy Sebastian Ryder, and you are joining us for another episode of Cut Different TV. And before we get into our guest today, before we get into the beautiful topics that we're going to discuss, go ahead and hit that big red button, subscribe right there, turn on your post notifications if you haven't already, and join the Cut Different family. If you don't know anything about that, we'll get to that later. And click the link in our click the link down below to learn more about what the Cut Different family means. But without further ado, we got Mr. Spin City Chris in the building today. And we're going to talk about the new project. We're going to talk about your upbringing. We're going to talk a little bit about the radio and how you've made all these connections and how you've been prioritizing networking in the industry. So talk to him.
Well, first and foremost, what's good, guys? Spin City Chris here. I'm a Afro-Caribbean hip-hop and R&B artist, born in Georgetown, Guyana, raised in Queens, New York. Shout out Southside. Queens get the money and all that. Big GT. New project just came out, Morioh City. It's my best body of work yet. I'll stand on that for real. Yeah.
And let's just, do you want to just get straight into the project and then we backtrack?
Yeah,
Because I think, you're making a bold statement. You're like, this is my best body of work. And you dropped it. And so how's the reception been? Talk about,
Yeah, so far, reception's been amazing. Like, I definitely get support when I release music, but this has been kind of different. It's been a lot more meaningful. You know what I mean? Like, not just saying, oh, this is a fire song, it's a great track, but it's like people really sending me paragraphs like, yo, like, the lyrics, the vocals, the production, the storytelling of it all. Like, I really see what you're trying to do here for real. Like, I don't remember, I like your old music, but this feels like you have, like, a vision now that you're working towards. And I do. I feel like Morioh City is one of those projects or just one of those moments that for me was like I was going through so much while making it, so many different things personally, business-wise, music-wise, that like I was putting it all on the line. Like there's a song in there called At All Costs from my boy Dave. That's the outro to the project, and that whole song is really just about me. Like if I die tomorrow, I'm happy with what I've been able to complete so far in life. You know what I mean? Like I feel, not to say content, but if it all ends tomorrow, I'm happy that this is my record of what I've contributed to the world, so to speak.
I like that, bro. That's powerful. And also, that's just your 2 cents.
You get me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I love it, man. And we got Max in the building today too.
Max.
So this was the first time you really locked in like full time with a producer, dedicated to you, dedicated to the project. Talk about that experience and like artists watching this. What's the benefit to that?
For me personally, this is my first time locking with one producer for so long. Like I'm so used to working with different producers and engineers and stuff like that. But this was like Max and I were working. He was recording some of my old stuff. He was like, yo, let's work on some music together, kind of feel our way into it. And from there, we kind of recorded a song here, recorded a song there. And as things progressed, our like friendship got stronger as well. But it's also in the music tip, we kind of understood each other better. Like it's almost like we could read each other's thoughts and like predict what the other person's going to say. And at some points, it would just be like, okay, we're like 3-4 songs deep now. Let's really like flesh this out and build something here. Because there's something here. Like we can both feel like there's something special here. Let's move with intention with it now instead of just kind of messing around and making whatever we feel like, you know? And then from that point on, we were kind of just like, okay, let's craft like, I like to think of it like a soundscape, like a landscape, but like with sound, you know what I mean? And from there, kind of like build out somewhat of like a city or a space that people can kind of come into sonically and experience with us. Like this is how we view New York. This is how we view America. This is how we view the world, but with music. So, yeah.
Damn. And so how much does being from Queens, like your experience growing up and, being Guyanese and being in that environment, like how much does that influence your thought process when it comes into what you're talking about in music, when you're, portraying yourself as an artist and when you're moving about and balancing these different lives?
It's a big part of it. I feel like, especially as a kid growing up in Queens, there's so many different artists that have come out of Queens and really made themselves legends in their own right, and it kind of inspired me. And it's like I definitely pull inspiration from them, whether it's like 50 Cent, Nicki Minaj, so many others. But at the same time, too, I want to be myself. Like I'll definitely pay homage to them and kind of like draw inspiration from their music, but I also want to make it feel like it's me. Like I want to have some familiarity, don't get me wrong, a little bit of that throwback feel here and there, but this is still Spin City Chris, like through and through. And that kind of just like comes into everything I say, even like the words I pick, the lingo, the flows, the cadences, delivery, like tone of voice. Like I really study music and pay attention to like how artists deliver songs. When I'm coming in to make my own music, it's very much like I want to I want everything about this to be intentional, even the way I say a certain word at a certain part of the beat, because it's gonna fit there better. It's gonna kind of go with this, like, I don't know, bell that Max added, or these drums that he's laying down, and when I switch the tone of my voice, or whatever the case may be, breath control, whatever the case, like I want it to feel like I did it on purpose. You know?
Damn, bro. I
Yeah.
like that. And I remember when we were talking prior to the interview, you were
Yeah.
talking about influences like you said, like Jay-Z, like
Facts.
Sean Paul, and
Facts.
50. And when you
Facts.
said that, I'm like, damn, like Sean Paul with 50 Cent and Jay-Z, like that's interesting. So
Yeah.
when building your sound and like testing out different things, like how important was it for you on this project? Not only, you know, making different moves and different changes vocally to balance, like you said, the different things that he's putting into the tracks, but like to show that range as an artist too, right?
I think for me it was weird because I also found myself listening to a lot of music that I don't usually listen to. Like growing up, I listened to a lot of rap heavy, a lot of R&B because of my mom, but like in my own personal taste was a lot of like heavy like trap rap, Atlanta rap, stuff like that with some West Coast stuff here as well. But over the last like year and a half, I've been bumping like a lot of like R&B and house and also like throwback 2000s and 90s music, just trying to like really pull inspiration again because like I already know that I can rap and I know what I want to do in the rap side of things, but like, okay, I want to curate a vibe now for people, like not just give them bars, but give them emotions and thoughtfulness and feelings like sonically. So let me listen to the people who did that before me and did it really well. You know what I mean? The Sean Pauls, the Beyonces, the 50 Cents, the Nicki Minaj, the Jay-Z's, the J. Cole's, whoever, and study like some of their biggest hits, but also some of their like kind of cult classics, like the songs that weren't as like chart topping, but were still bangers. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, like pull inspiration, whether it's like a lot of old 50 Cent music had a lot of like Caribbean kind of like sound instruments and like sound selection in it, or it's like Sean Paul stuff was like dance hall, but not as like super aggressive. It was kind of just more like feeling and like pulling you in. Whereas like production, a lot of like Get Rich or Die Trying was very like the drums were very like, I don't know how to explain it. They were full, but they didn't feel like they were hitting you. You know what I mean? Like you felt them, but you didn't feel like attacked by them. Kind of speak. I don't want my project to kind of have that same feel. Like I want it to feel like assertive, but not like aggressive. Like it's here, but if you want to come experience it, come experience it. If you don't, it's okay.
Damn, bro. And so, I mean, listening to this guy talk, like, you can't tell him he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you like, damn, all right, bet. Like, where my notebook at? But anyways, bro, like, you know, did you learn being in radio for as long? Because you just started making music in 2019. I mean, that's what, like 5 years now? But being in radio, did you learn a lot of this, like, you know, music knowledge and education through that? Or is this just something your whole life you've been in love with and then you just decided in 2019 to kind of go all in?
It's kind of a little bit of both. Like I grew up listening, like I said, to a lot of different types of music. And I'm a musician first and foremost. Like I played piano and guitar when I was a kid, and I've been playing drums for the last 6 years. But when I got into radio, shout out to WBNB and the Brook family. When I got into radio, I joined the internship with this company called Cinelife LLC, and I was under a mentorship from this artist named Supreme Carl. Shout out my boy Preem, and he gave me a lot of like game and kind of like opening your ears and opening your eyes to the world around you, the music around you, kind of studying and not just listening, but like really hearing what's going on besides like all the fluff and all the cool things. Like listen to what they're saying, how they're saying it, listen to like the science of it too, like tempos and like arrangements and sound selection, all those different things. Like it matters, you know what I mean? There's a reason it works so well. There's a reason there's like, for certain types of artists, they have a formula for them to make hits. Like there's a reason they figure out a way to make it work because those little details matter. And even with WBNB, like for me at least, the way I kind of was experiencing it was like I just got a fresh new influx of like music awareness and knowledge of what's like coming next every day. You know what I mean? Like I could come in there every day or every week and get put onto a new artist that I've never heard of before. And I might like them, I might not. And I'm almost honest with my opinions and I was honest with theirs. But sometimes I get generally put onto new amazing music that really like blows me away. And it kind of makes me go back to the drum board, what I'm doing. Like, okay, this is a hot new artist doing this. And I like the way they're doing it. How can I take that approach but make it myself? Like I don't want to copycat or take anybody's swag or their style, still be myself, but definitely understand that they're doing something amazing and there's a reason it's working. How can I have that same vision that they had for what I'm doing? Kind of like that. Yeah.
And also being in radio, building that network as well.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
meeting artists, meeting people in the industry.
100%.
Like, what would you attribute to, you know, this, or what success or contribution to your journey, right? Like, do those networking opportunities provide for you and the relationships that you build?
I mean, goes without saying, relationships are so important, especially in the music industry. Like, it really is a matter of who you know, not what you know or how much you have. Like, one of my mentors as a kid told me your network is your net worth. And that's so true, especially from what I've seen working in a college radio station, like meeting all these different types of creative people who are at different levels in their career, different ages. You learn so much from what they don't say. You learn so much from the experiences they have versus the things they just tell you, you know? And from there, you kind of get to see like mistakes they've made and errors they've had, but also how they created their successes out of nothing. So you can kind of do the same for yourself. And for me, it was very much like I was just studying people for real, like kind of taking in, soaking in as much game as I can, just trying to see like, okay, you did X, Y, and Z, but it got you here and you want to go here. And you're kind of getting there, but you're not getting there as fast as you want to. So maybe if I do X, Y, and Z plus B, I could kind of dodge all that mess you kind of ran into there and get to where I want to go there faster. You know what I mean? Or just like, even if I make mistakes are okay. Just kind of figure out where I went wrong and learn from that, you know? And then from there, just be consistent. Like, so one thing I've always realized is like, it's not about you know, having a Hall of Fame night every single night, but it's about showing up, putting the work in. So when those Hall of Fame nights come, you're still leaning back on your average in 2020, you know what I mean? It's like that consistency is so real because the work builds on itself. Like, you're going to have great days, you have amazing days. You also have not so good days, but keep that in between solid and you'll be good for so long, you know?
Hell yeah. And let's talk polarity a little bit, right? So like artists have rock bottoms and then they've got like your you made it moment, right? And, you know, you're on your journey right now and, you know, you're putting this project out and it's your best body of work yet from your words, right? And apparently a lot of other people as well, which is a beautiful thing to hear. And what are the two moments? I mean, obviously putting out that project, that's a huge moment for you. What is something, you mentioned consistency being big, right? What is something where you've had to sit and be like, damn, like, is this really for me? You feel me? And you know what I'm saying? Like, because artists listening to this, like.
Yeah. I mean, not to get too much into it, but like, I've definitely had moments where I felt so like defeated or just like I'm doing everything I was told I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, I watch all the podcasts, I read the books, I read the quote unquote music Bible, I forgot what it's called, like How to Make It in the Music Business, something like that. The yellow book everybody tells you to read. I read it. I did all the things you're supposed to do. Like, I put in the work. I studied the game, all these different things, and I still feel like it wasn't making sense for me. But one thing I realized is that because everyone's journey is so different, it's not gonna make sense to you like in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you kind of figure it out as it's happening. Like, you never see it coming. You know, when it starts to finally click, it'll be in hindsight, it'll make perfect sense. But before it happens, it'll look stupid. Like, it'll look like this is the dumbest thing ever. Why would I do this? Da 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 da. But then a year down the line, they'll be like, I'm happy I did that. You know what I mean? I'm happy I took that risk. I took that chance. Like, even Max will tell you, putting this project together, so many different stages, so many things were happening in our personal lives or in our artist careers or whatever that really were kind of like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying, but damn. Over and over and over. And it's like, we got to find a way to get through this, to get around it, because I know that the next like high is going to be worth it. And not even about doing it for the highs, but the next moment to inspire those around us is going to be worth it. Because it's like, okay, those wins are amazing, but like taking 30 losses and keep going is really a win in itself. You know what I mean? Like, being able to kind of go through so many lows and still find a reason to keep going regardless. Like, one of my songs on the project called West Indian Dreams, the hook is how high, real high, how low, real low. Like, it's a fun song, but I was really speaking my life. Like, I've been through some things that will make people cry, and I've been through some things that make people feel so joyous and excited and appreciative. And that's how I feel about things. But it's like, how high, how low. Like, it's really, like you said, the polarity is crazy. It's crazy.
It's like, and it's almost like you can't get too excited about the wins, but you also can't let the losses knock you down too much. Exactly. So it's like you got to keep that like a Libra. Shout out the Libras. You got to keep that triple beam. You feel me? And so my perspective, when we first started the conversation, and I was asking you like, yo, like, you got your project out. What's the reception been like? Or, you know, how do you feel about it? And you're like, yeah, like, I'm getting great reception. People are telling me like, yo, this one is the one. Like people are sending me paragraphs. What does that mean to you? And tell me about the times when you didn't necessarily get that reception and that feedback, and some things that maybe you did to keep yourself validated, right? When it wasn't necessarily coming externally.
I'll say for the times when I wasn't getting that kind of like, I guess, love and feedback, I was like, it was 50-50 because I didn't want to let it get to me. But, you know, I'm an artist. I'm emotional. Like, this is my life. Like, I'm speaking about things I don't speak about to everyday people on a song and then putting it on Spotify. Like, that's crazy to say out loud. Like, I'm taking my personal secrets and uploading it to Apple Music for you to play on your phone every single day. But you kind of have to take it on the chin. Like, you also can't take it too personal. Like my boy Preem told me, you can't take it to heart because at the end of the day, people don't understand your story because they're not supposed to. It's not their story, it's yours. So they won't get it until you get it and are able to explain it in a way to them that makes sense. And I feel like that's what Morioh City is. It's like I finally know my story and I'm able to explain it and like convey it and shape it in a way that other people can grasp. I feel like in the past I was kind of just saying stuff or making songs or whatever from my perspective or for how I felt, but like only I could fully get it or fully understand it, you know? And now because I've been studying, now I know how to like create a song in a way that you can grasp what I'm trying to say without really knowing me that much. You know what I mean? And that takes time. Like I've put out like, I think like 30 songs on all platforms and I've got hundreds of songs in the vault, but that took a lot of time for me to figure out that skill. It doesn't really come naturally and it's not like a very like, you can't study it. You know what I mean? It's very nuanced. You got to really, like I said, listen to music and listen to how these artists telling their stories so you can see how to tell yours because you can't really teach that. Yeah.
What makes you cut different, bro?
I think that thing that makes me cut different is I pay attention. I pay a lot of attention, more than people think in every aspect. And I really, when it comes to something that I want to do, like if I really want to do something and I really want to be a part of something or I want to make something happen, I pay attention to every single thing that needs to go into it and figure out, okay, with the resources, the connections, whatever I have available to me right now, how can I take it there? How far can I take it? How can I sustain it? Do I need other people? Like I really pay attention to what it takes because people have a lot of things, they say a lot of things, but like I respect action more than words and I want to see things get done. So if you want to do something, figure out what it takes, figure out how you can do it and just find a way because there's always a way. Just find that connection and build it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Ew. I like that. Ray, cut that shit up, bro. Yeah. Word up, man. So we were talking earlier about goals for this year. You seem like a very goal-oriented person, which is beautiful. And I think a lot of times as creatives, right, like we can get lost in the sauce.
Facts.
You know, like Gucci said, you either got the sauce or you're lost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So for you being able to balance, you know, being professional, keeping a calendar, keeping that routine, and having goals and actually following through on them, but then also being a creative and being in that free thinking space where sometimes you can get lost, right? How do you balance that and what goals do you have that we can be on the lookout for?
I'm still figuring out the balance part. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some days where I'm like super professional on top of things, and there's some days where like the creative side of me is just taking full control. I think the thing that's helped me the most is like kind of being able to like, I don't want to say rein in the creative, but like let it build up and keep it under wraps. So when I like schedule out or like I make time in my life or make space in my life for that to come out, let it do its thing. Whether it's going to the studio, hanging out with friends, listening to music, whatever the case may be. Like even when I'm driving, a lot of times I'm playing all sorts of music, whether it's like electronic, house, hip hop, R&B, drill, soca, dancehall, reggae, whatever, reggaeton, whatever. And I'm just vibing, experiencing. I'm just kind of letting loose creatively. And when I step out of the car, back to professional, let's get to business to get it done. But in those creative moments, I want to really let that explore, have free reign because that's when ideas come. That's when song ideas comes, project ideas, music video ideas. So when the creative kind of flows, and I'll be like, yo, text the team, like, yo, had this crazy idea for like one of the songs in the project. The video should be like this way and inspired by this and da-da-da-da. And like, I'll be sitting there like driving somewhere and I'll hum like, I don't know, like a song from like 2000s, like some random R&B song. And I'll be like, yo, that video, I remember seeing that video when I was a kid. Like that was hard. That one scene they had, da-da-da. Like maybe I should kind of like, I don't know, take that part and put it in my video and take the inspiration from that, all that. And then from there, we pull that together and we put it out, and people were like, "Yo, this kind of reminds me of what I saw back then." And I was like, "I know. That's what I was thinking of when I kind of created director. That's what I wanted." And then from there, they kind of see the vision, and then they kind of become more. They're more sold on the idea. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is art I could believe in. Like, you're taking it seriously. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take yourself seriously, people won't take you seriously. So, like,
Real shit.
Simple.
Real shit.
Yeah.
If you don't take yourself seriously, people won't. That's facts. And if you're not cut different, you're not cut different. Real talk.
Word.
Spin City Chris is cut different, man. And talk about the shows, right? So you got a goal to do 20 shows this year. Well, damn, I might have just spilled the beans.
It's all good. That's the minimum. That's the minimum. I'm trying to pass
that's the minimum. And you've already done, at the time of recording, what, 6 shows so
Something
far?
like that, yeah.
So talk a little bit about, we're going to keep going. So talk a little bit about finding those shows, finding those opportunities, especially in a city like New York, right? Where, this is the Mecca.
Yeah. I think that's where the network comes back in. Like, it's very much being aware of what's going on and also timing. Like when summer is approaching, everybody knows summer in New York is like nothing else. You know what I mean? It's New York is alive in the summertime. And you kind of be aware, keep your finger in the pulse and like see what's happening and what makes sense for you too. Like, I realize that you can be an amazing artist, doesn't matter how talented you are, but if you're not putting yourself in the right space, you're setting yourself up to fail. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter if it's an amazing show, crazy crowd, whatever the case may be. If it's not where you should be, it's just not going to work. And it's kind of hard to find those places, don't get me wrong, but you got to do the research. You got to suss it out. You got to talk to people who are part of it. Like, it should feel genuine. It should feel right to be there. Like, I understand feeling nervous, feeling anxiety. All those things are natural. But if you're in a space, especially to perform, and you don't feel like in your spirit it's right for you to be here, do you really want to be there? And do you really think it's going to work for you? Is this going to make sense? Like, be rational a little bit. We're creatives. We do a lot of rational things, but sometimes be rational. Do it make sense?
Damn. Any other jewels of wisdom that you want to drop on them today?
I don't know. Oh, artists, please reply to emails. A lot of times y'all be saying that, oh, no one wants to give me a shout out, no one wants to support me, da-da-da. Reply to emails, bro. Learn how to email properly. You'll see so many doors open up for you. You never believe. The game, the business, the music industry is not in the DMs. It's in emails and professional calls. So tighten up a little bit and you'll be all right.
Tighten up. And join the Cut Different family, man. Welcome to the Cut Different family, Spin City Chris. It's been a pleasure having you on. And for those of you that are watching today that, may have came from Cut Different, a lot of y'all are probably wondering who the fuck I am, right? They're like, yo, we're here to listen to Chris talk. Where can they find you at?
All platforms, all social media, Spin City Chris, SPINCITY CHRIS, Morioh City, that's MORIOHCITY on all platforms. It's 7 songs. It's a mixture of Afro-Caribbean hip-hop and R&B, high energy like Atlanta mosh pit music, some like Latin trap R&B in there, a little bit of like mellow kind of Normani, Summer Walker type of vibe. Like, we got something for everybody. We got soulful rap in there as well. Like, if you're a fan of music, you're going to like Morioh City. I'll just say that.
Yeah. And the last question, I'm sorry, Vic. The last question I got for you, bro. Where did the name Morioh City come from?
Shout out to my boy Max Morioh. Is part of his stage name as a producer, as an artist. He's a super big fan of anime, and he really felt like that kind of fit his vibe, with his aesthetic, what he's trying to do. And I was like, if we're building a soundscape, if we're building a place to take people to, I'm Spin City Chris, this is Max Morioh. Let's take him to Morioh City. This is the fusion of our things. Like, you ever seen Dragon Ball Z when they do the fusion dance, little thing? Yeah, that's Morioh City is us doing that type
that's
shit.
Fire, bro.
Yeah.
Tough, man. Yeah. Well, thank you for breaking that down. Thank you for coming on Cut Different TV, man. I go by the name of Sebastian Ryder. This is my brother.
Peace, y'all.
Oh.
My fault.
This is my brother.
It's Spin City Chris. We out here with Cut Different TV. Shout out Mr. Ryder.
Gang shit, man. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cut Different TV, man. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We got some beautiful content on the way for you guys. And be sure to tap in with the Cut Different family. Join the community. And let's make some magic happen, man. Till next time.
Peace.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Sebastian Ryder, and you tapped into a special episode. As you saw, we were talking to Chris about Morioh City and, working with this cool guy named Max who's helping him create these soundscapes and also, walking through his journey as an artist as well. So today we want to talk to Max Morioh as well. You feel me? And let's get into your background and what makes you cut different, big dog.
Oh, big dog. Wow. uh,
Why you say big dog like that though? I feel like we need to call a timeout on the play.
where can I get started? Chris touched upon it. We're both immigrants. Chris definitely had more of an immigrant upbringing than I did, but I was born in St. Petersburg, Russia. I immigrated here. I was pretty much a baby, so I have no memories of Russia. So I could say I'm Brooklyn born and bred. Like I grew up in the predominantly Russian neighborhood, Sheepshead Bay. So like I can't say like when I was younger, like my life was too diverse because it was mainly just like other Russian speakers around, like from ex-Soviet Union country, satellite states and stuff like that. But once I got into like high school and college, I got exposed to like the real melting pot that is New York, I want to say, because I really got exposed to all the different cultures. Because before I'm just like, oh, there's only these kinds of people, like, like in a very like closed-minded way, because I didn't know. I was being ignorant. And after realizing that I can't be ignorant because it's just mean and stupid, I was like, all right, well, it's time to get educated, It's time to study history. It's time to explore different foods and explore the different identities people with New York come to, I wanted to really like, get my foot into it. And then and when it came to my music, I was a DJ, like amateur. Like I was really into like EDM and stuff cuz like I don't know, like I felt like almost with the communities I was around, like they kind of like frowned upon like hip hop music and like just like black centric music to begin with. And once I realized like there's no reason to, I was like, oh, now I can actually listen to the music that I like to listen to. So I moved more into production. I have my friends supporting me. Like, yo, you're a good DJ. You have the ear. I feel like you'd be an even better producer. And the idea of being able to help people bring their ideas to life, I gravitated towards that. Like the idea, because I've always wanted to help people growing up. Like I always wanted to look for the easiest way to help somebody. And music kind of fell into that. So I met Chris in college, shout out WBNB. And Chris met me. I was sitting in the production room there. I was just cooking up. Honestly, like I was doing all the things a student wasn't supposed to be doing when they're going to school, which is getting educated. So instead, I wasted a bunch of money and a bunch of time, but I spent like 10 hours a day in the almost professional recording studio. So I really got my chops up. I had some lows, I had some downs, and closer towards the downs, I really started to tap in with Chris. I started to tap in with the homie Supreme Carl. Shout out him. Shout out DJ Extra, not the homie Eric. And I joined their team. I got to be more involved in Cinelife, as Chris mentioned, and I got to learn more about the music industry. And then it really just became like a very like a good synergy. Like I got an idea of how everything worked. And then when it came to the music, me and Chris kind of linked up. I was recording a lot of his stuff. I'd built a little studio out of my bedroom. I was paying off gear. I was constantly getting stuff upgraded. And I really wanted to develop Chris as an artist because when I met him back when he started rapping back in like 2018, 2019, when we were younger, I was like, okay, you can rap, but can you write a song? Because a lot of rappers can't write a song. Especially like, I don't know how long you've been around in New York, Ryder, but everyone wants to be a rapper without actually putting in the work of being an artist.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the image, but they don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
You have to practice. You have to have a team. You have to have people, not to toot my own horn, but people like me that can really help you bring your vision to life from like an auditory perspective. Because I was recording Chris's vocals, I was coaching him like, hey, you should say this word this way, or you should switch around these lines this way, and it'll make more sense. I was sitting down with him like, look, the arrangement doesn't make sense, or we just have to re-record because this wasn't good because I didn't do something right, which he was patient with, or he didn't do something right, which was my goal, because if he did something wrong, that means we knew he wouldn't do it again. So we really we ended up developing that I guess copyrighted iconic Morioh City sound, which is an influence of everything we really grew up around. Like I was trying to really focus on the production that I liked growing up. Like I love Pharrell. I love Timbaland. I mean, who doesn't? Like I feel like if you listen to like 2000s music in general, not just hip hop, not R&B, but like they were everywhere. From pop music, some Pharrell was sampling rock music for some of his tracks. I mean, come on, like Pharrell did Kitty Cat for Beyonce. Who doesn't love that beat? And then Pharrell did all the stuff for Pusha T and his cousin when they were doing clips. Like it's all this stuff, and I guess me rambling about all this other all this stuff. The reason why I feel like it makes me cut different is I'm able to bring other people's visions to life because I go out of my way to study everything about who they are. I go straight to, oh, what did you listen to growing up? And then I'm like, all right, but what did your parents listen to growing up? Because that's really our first introductions to music. You know, what our parents were listening to. Like my mom, she was listening to like grunge, rock, and then like whatever was popular from Russia or on the radio in Europe back then. And then I was able to develop my own taste while still bringing in that because for one of the tracks, At All Costs, I actually went ahead and sampled a very classic like Soviet song. I'm not gonna name drop it because they're gonna find me somehow, and they're gonna be looking for me to steal whatever 17 cents I
I
make
hope
off
the
the stream.
Soviet Union does not come over to cut different.
They
TV.
can't. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, bet. All right. Well, that's right. Damn. We all see my intelligence level.
No, chill. The way my boy Vlad walking and running, he trying to rebuild it. That's never gonna happen.
Reagan knocked off the Soviet, right?
Mr. President, tear down that wall.
Was it Reagan?
Man, I don't know. This is what the American education system is. It is
I don't
what it
know,
is.
dude. Yeah, damn.
We know a lot about the beef though.
We do know about the beef. I know about the wall.
Yeah, the wall.
Yeah.
The Iron Curtain. Yeah, all that
Exactly.
good stuff. It was
And Rocky.
Yeah, East Germany and West Germany. Yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. We're having a history lesson right now.
Yeah. But anyways, you cut different, you bring visions to life. And dude, honestly, bro, I love the monologue that you just went on because I feel like you covered everything from the birth canal forward. And that was beautiful because you did it in a short period of time. And with that being said too, I mean, dude, the music, even listening to 2 Cents, like the way that you're putting things together, the way that you're incorporating different sounds, the way that Chris talks about you and how you're able to incorporate different elements even after the fact in post-production just to kind of make things, you know what I'm saying, hit differently. That's impressive, bro. And we don't have a lot of producers on here. I'm sure now we will, but that's sick to hear your ideology and like where you're getting that inspiration from.
I feel like a lot of producers underrate themselves, and I also feel like the word producer is just defined poorly, especially by social media and like just the general public. Because I don't know, like to say you're a producer means that you have your finger on the pulse of every part of the song, in my opinion. So I'm talking about like greats like Quincy Jones. I'm talking like even though like he doesn't really do much, like Rick Rubin, like these types of people, like they don't do like they just know what needs to be done.
Do you have any music ability? No. Are you technologically sound?
No, but that's the thing. No one's hiring him for that. They're hiring him for his taste.
His taste.
Because at the end of the day, when you're an artist, and I tell this to Chris all the time, like you kind of have to, I don't even know how to say this. Like you kind of just have to.
You got to have taste consultants.
Not even taste consultants. You have to be able. That actually helped me. You need to be able to bring your taste to your audience because at the end of the day, yes, like if you're a musician, if you're an artist, whatever, that's your job. And like I understand, like as Americans, like we'll compartmentalize like our work emotions and our regular life. So like, you know, we're dealing with this at this time, we're dealing with this at that time. But when you're an artist, it's kind of 24/7. You don't get to relax and kind of switch it off from work mode. So it kind of ends up becoming this challenge of showing the things that you're comfortable with from your life and your perspective. So you're getting across, your quote unquote tastes, like the things that you grew up listening to, the stuff that you like. Because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, no one's going to like it. Like, if you didn't like the fit you were wearing today and you walked out and you were feeling kind of bummy.
That never happens, by the way.
Yeah, never. Look how fly he is. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Look at him. No, really look at him. Look at this handsome individual. All right, back to the answer.
No Diddy, but I appreciate it, though. Thank you.
So, yeah, it's just to being able to bring your tastes to the table. Because also, like, as a producer, I feel like in this day and age, the reason why people have a hard time defining that word is because of technology. Because back in the day, you had someone in the control room, they were cutting up tapes, they had to re-record something like a dozen times because they can't just go back and be like, oh, I'm going to punch in here and here. Like how like maybe like a Detroit rapper would like record, like he'll do bar by bar. Like they couldn't do that. So they had to put everything on wax, right? But now with technology, we have the ability to kind of do everything in the box. Like the way we're recording this right now, like they had to have like a whole setup. We don't. We have a computer. We have a little box that does everything for us. So now I feel like if you're a producer in the room now, it kind of becomes a challenge of, all right, well, where do I fit into this puzzle? Because say you have, oh, this guy's going to be our session player. He's going to be running keys, or this is the recording engineer today. Or say like the recording engineer doesn't even show up. Who are you going to ask if the producer's the only other person in the room? Like, oh, I don't know how to record. Well, why don't you? You don't have an excuse anymore. You kind of need to know how to do a little bit of everything, or you're going to be left in the dust, because that's just how music works. That's how technology works. It gets updated. Something new is going to come out the next day, and you're already left behind because you weren't keeping up, because you were lazy, because you wanted to focus on that one thing, the thing that you like to do, which you should. But at the end of the day, you can't do the things that you like unless you do the things that you don't like.
Damn. It's a bar. He's cut different, man. Max Morioh in the building, man. And drop a jewel for him before you leave. You dropped a bunch of jewels, by the way. It's like 10 carats worth of jewels on the ground right now. I'm about to pick them bitches up after the interview and sell them and get some money.
If there's something that you don't want to do, but you need to do it, suck it up and do it, because the faster you get it done, the faster you'll get to the stuff that you actually want to do.
Like foreplay.
Don't skip foreplay.
All right, man. You tapped into another episode of Cut Different TV, man. We out, man. Thanks for coming on, Mac.
Peace.
Cut.